Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, day after the holiday, and we're taking a look at Bitcoin right now. I haven't put it up on the screen yet, but I'm about to do so. All right. So if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you're on Rumble or anywhere else, do the same, or whatever version of that occurs on that platform. Let me go ahead and blow up the screen here. I'm going to share the link around. Give me just a moment. Let me see here. All right, give me just a moment here. All right. So we do this every weekday. That is not a holiday. And if you come into the YouTube chat in particular, just go ahead and ask. You say, hey, I want to see, I want to see Bitcoin. I want to see this stock, whatever it is you want to see on the charts, let me know. And I will give you my opinion. Of course, none of it is investment advice, right? You got to talk to a licensed investment advisor before you do any type of trading because you can lose your money. All right. Bitcoin is following the Bitcoin's following the pattern that I did predict going back about 10 days ago. It's consolidating at the top of this months long consolidation, right? It's got a little mini consolidation. And again, the farther out you go from a projection, the less likely your projection is going to be correct, right? So if this was like a month out and it was still following this, that would be highly impressive. But the fact that it is doing this after a week and a half is still pretty good. You're not going to find too many people who called this out. I don't know anybody who's called this out. Not that it's incredibly impossible, but it's just a good call. I had this head and shoulders bottom here pop out to grab the first target, this blue line here. And of course, I did share this with my private group. Not that we're a signal service, we're not, but I do share my trades in there so people can see for educational purposes the kind of trades I'm taking. So here is the first move up. This first target at 68,725 or so. And then the second target was up at 72,245, and it just barely missed it. And it's consolidating below that. Now, as this continues to consolidate, the likelihood of it breaking out is actually going to increase. There's a bit of an argument between a lot of traders, and they feel that if a resistance continues to get tested, it gets weaker and weaker, and price will move up. Others believe that the longer it tests, the price actually gets weaker and weaker and will dive back down for liquidity. But the reality is that the market is a living and breathing thing. So what's going to happen is really going to be dependent on what the buyers and sellers are doing. And at the moment, my algos are saying that price is lightly bullish on the daily. Let's see what the weekly says. I can almost guarantee you it's very bullish on the weekly, or at least steadily bullish on the weekly. And it is. Yeah, weekly algos are bullish. So price should be popping up and out of this in the next few weeks. Now, of course, price can dive back down for liquidity, and we are going to take a look at the Kingfisher shortly, which is a great solution. It's a website that I use to look at Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies liquidity. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's see where some of the liquidity is on the derivatives exchanges. And if you're out there in the audience, again, if you want to see some kind of a chart, just put it in the comments. I believe X allows you to do that, and I believe that YouTube certainly does. Now, Rumble, on the other hand, I don't see a lot of requests coming through on that. I don't think there's a lot of people watching on Rumble Live, and that's a shame. I like Rumble. I would like to see Rumble do better, but it seems as if YouTube still has the stranglehold on things, and it is what it is. All right, we don't hate the market. In fact, the market is going to want what the market wants, and it's our job to want what the market wants. And as you see, I'm spinning a wheel, and I should have some credits yet left here. So let's go ahead and grab that liquidity. Now, spinning the wheel, getting credits for free, that's a nice thing that you can do on this platform. But actually, I think about just going to re-up and have infinite looks here, because we're going into the time in the crypto market where things are really probably going to start taking off. And being able to grab this information more often is probably going to be pretty valuable. Now, we're looking at the liquidity map right now. We got March in the house. Silver, Kevin Shepard. Hey, I haven't seen you in a minute. We'll take a look at silver. We got a few minutes yet left for that. We'll look at that after Bitcoin. Good to see you, Kevin. It's been a minute. So the liquidity is concentrated right now around 66,850. Okay, so price does need to favor a move downwards, right? So to the left is down, to the right is up. There's not a lot of liquidity to the top side. There is liquidity to the downside. And what that means, right, is that these areas where these spikes are kind of concentrated, that's where a lot of trades on derivatives exchanges, in this case Binance, are going to liquidate. So price will oftentimes be pushed to that as a function of lots of money being made by these derivatives exchanges, right? And these tend to be the same or similar across exchanges. So I don't get a multi-exchange view, which I could, but in this case, we're sitting at 66,800 is really where it's concentrated. So we'll go 66.5 and a half to 67,150. Let's draw that up on the chart. So 66.5 and a half to 67,150. All right, so price, if there is a move down in the charts, and there very well could be because price is kind of deciding what it wants to do right now, liquidity could be grabbed at this point. Now, my original drawing, which is from now 11 days ago, did account for a kind of a dump down to grab some liquidity, but it appears that price is not quite as strong as I drew. So what I would expect quite likely is for price just to run down and grab this, whether it be now, whether it be later, and then perhaps continue to consolidate up here. It just really depends on what the charts do. Now, that liquidity look that I got on the Kingfisher was a kind of an all leverage, right? You see this all. Now there is high leverage, low leverage, and your high leverage plays are going to have liquidity a lot more tight around price. This is for your kind of crackhead traders that are trading at 100x, but I prefer to trade a little bit bigger of a move on Bitcoin because on the derivatives exchanges, it gets a little expensive to try to scalp Bitcoin, right? And not that the price is the problem, but it's more about the size of the position that you need to enter to make money at that point. Let's take a brief look at silver. Hey, look, looks like Rumble does work. Sharapo, if I said your name right there, asks what is XRP going to do? You know, XRP is tricky. We'll take a brief look at that too, but let's take a look at silver. Now, silver, we have some metrics on silver right now, right? And just to create a quick wrap up of Bitcoin, I do have some upside targets of 80,000 and 88,000 near term. Not to say that Bitcoin won't go above that, but just based on the move up here, this large impulse from 51,000 basically up to 73,500 ish, that impulse is probably going to end up at 80 and 88,000. Those are Fibonacci extensions. So that's kind of the high time frame on Bitcoin, right? So Kevin, let me take a look at silver for you. Like I said, we have some metrics going on with silver that I can't talk about in here because that came from V the Gorilla, but you do see a trade that I made here. This trade that I made here, obviously it hit both profit points, and that was a private trade inside of Algo Factory. So again, I do post my trades quite often, not my scalp trades. There's just no way to get to those in time in Algo Factory. If I put a scalp trade up, then it's already halfway gone by the time it's been posted up for people to learn from. But I do post these trades for people to learn from in Algo Factory. Of course, I can't stop anybody from taking a similar trade, but the intention is not for you to take my trades. Just the same, this trade did pay off, entered May 5th. Technically, I think it was actually the 6th. And then this was a 2.69 to 1, took half the profit up, about halfway up. So this probably made, like, let's just say I put $1,000 on it. Hint, hint. This would have made me about $1,800. So that's how this trade played out. Now, silver, though, is going to run into trouble at some prior structure at the current price. So let me jump to a real higher time frame. And then Sarapaho XRP is just it's going to do what it's going to do. It's XRP has not been very reliable when it comes to relying on price action and other metrics. You just have to understand that XRP is not something that that I would measure the same way that I'd measure other stuff. It's highly manipulated. What it's going to do is, in the end, going to depend on how the financial world accepts it. If XRP is in fact accepted to be payment rails, then it'll expand, because it'll need to expand in order to fulfill that role. But as it stands now, XRP still has some issues. It just, to me, it seems like it's suppressed, and it does not follow the normal rules when it comes to the way that I measure things, right? So the next extension on silver, if price can break above the recent high here, I would expect silver to go to 34.2 and 36.5, just based on Fibonacci extensions, because you're starting to get into where price history is pretty far back. See if I can. I don't know why this particular silver chart is not going back to like, say, 2010, back when price really moved up. There you go. Okay. So those are the estimations based on a couple of other metrics. I have some higher time frame stuff with targets with a target about 37.6, which matches almost this 36.7. So I'd look for $36 to $37 as a nice stop off point. Now we do have a couple of structural issues right here. We got one at about 35.5, which supports that 36,035 kind of thesis, if you will. Price might stop there, but that's pretty old. Silver might not be quite affected by that pivot point. Another pivot point's at about $37. So really $35, $36 is, I think, the next stop off point for silver. Of course, it could just continue to go up. Right now, there's a lot of pressure to the upside for metals, and I think that metals will continue up. And I think silver will see that high around $50 that it saw in the early 2010s. I think you'll see that high again within the next couple of years. But again, not investment advice, do your own research. XRP, that's great that you're putting $10,000 a month in there. That's quite a lot of money. And again, I'm sure you're doing your own research, making your own decisions. But again, you see XRP it's just kind of following this slow path up, right? It's making higher lows and it's making higher highs overall. It's actually running up in a channel, which tells me that it's being pretty tightly controlled, most likely. But this could be natural price action. I'm not saying it's absolutely controlled and, it's not natural, but it doesn't look that natural to me. However, what do I think Ripple's going to do, or XRP? If I were just to follow this, then I would expect it to continue to crawl up this channel. I think I'm going to blind myself here. I hit the light button. Okay, let's go back to this. Computer's a little bit slow today. And we're going to end the live show here. Oh, Gorilla's in the house. Gorilla, how are you, sir?
Hi, everyone. It's I. Happy Memorial Day.
You done with your chest waxing? Is that what you got done before you came on here?
Yes, that's why my voice is very high from screaming. I was screaming, Kelly Clarkson!
Oh, man. We got Kevin Shepard in, man. Kevin Shepard has been kind of following us for a really long time.
Nice.
Kevin, I don't think you're in Algo Factory yet. I don't know what you're doing. Come on in, bro. Come make some money. But Ripple is going to just, I think, proceed up this channel until it doesn't. And I think if Ripple were to gain the status of being the payment rails for which it was designed, I would expect a revisit to those highs. But Ripple's just not that predictable right now. It is under some regulatory pressure, and until those pressures are gone, although some of them have dissipated, I think Ripple is going to continue to be suppressed. So I can tell you what I think Ripple is going to do, and that's what you're seeing on the charts. But eventually, if those regulatory pressures do subside, we'll see that price probably head up to $2 again. This could easily happen. So, Via the Gorilla, you came at the perfect time to go ahead and get us over to the private live lab. Could you do that?
Absolutely. Listen, guys, don't sit on the sidelines wondering if this is for you. Don't think that, hey, I got to be good in math. I got to be good in X, Y, Z. I need to know A, B, C. No, you don't have to know nothing. Absolutely nothing about trading. We will handle all of it for you. We'll take you by the hand, walk you soup to nuts. Give us 6 months. Give me 6 months of your time. 6 months of your time is all I ask. And I'll tell you right now, you will understand what we're talking about. You will be successful, and you'll be able to create a secondary stream of income that can make a positive benefit on your bottom end.
Dude, that was so beautiful, and I hate to ruin your flow.
Yes.
You're a
flow. You're a flow killer, man.
I'm a flow killer. Just what is not understood yet is that I've actually been updating the class of the website. So I spent the entire weekend. I probably spent 10 hours a day minimum over a holiday weekend doing this, and I really wanted to make sure that brand new traders had a lot more to kind of bite onto. So
yeah,
definitely making sure that's the case right now.
Absolutely. So listen, join us for less than the price of a bottle of water, $1.66 a day. You can be part of the most prolific trading community on God's green earth. Learn to trade, upgrade your life. AlgoFactory.tech.
Join us or die.
There you go.